Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another randomized gaming live stream. I am your host for this randomized gaming live stream, Random Gamer Riven. Apologies, I was running a few minutes late. I was rather busy playing the Capcom Arcade Stadia, I have to admit. Guilty pleasure. Oh well, doesn't matter, starting the odd minute late. Playing good games is all that matters, and yes, I was just playing that. That's actually a really enjoyable, nice selection of Capcom Arcade games. I think it works out just over £1 per game, which is actually very reasonably priced as well. So, but this is Demon's Souls. This is effectively Kingsfield 5, and it was the start of the Souls adaptation of the Kingsfield series. I have previously covered this all on the blog, if you're interested. So there is actually a blog piece, and I should actually include a link to it below about the history of the Demon's Souls and Dark Souls series. Technically, I should really update it with Sekiro, but I don't know if I should because Sekiro is more successor to Tenshu, the Self-Assassin. But this is the original PS3 version of Demon's Souls. It was, of course, developed by From Software, and it was infamously published by Sony Computer Entertainment in Japan, who then didn't bother to release it anywhere else, and subsequently Namco, Bandai and Altus picked it up for worldwide release, and even Sony admitted they'd dropped the ball on it as it became hugely successful. In fact, the excuses they gave for not releasing it in Europe was because they basically didn't think it would sell, and then they could have reissued it, but they just were being idiot Sony, and it cost them badly in the long run, as they lost out on the whole Dark Souls franchise. So whereas we could have probably well have had Demon's Souls 4 by about now, but yeah, I think that's why Sony did Bloodborne later on, partly as a sort of, oh yeah, we're sorry, From Software. Now, From Software have an interesting history of not getting their games released in various regions. The Kingsfield and Armored Core series suffered in Europe quite badly, and I actually know why, because I worked with the producer responsible, but that's a story for another day. But yes, suffice to say, I think From Software have had a bad rub of the graph in the past. Demon's Souls is not a perfect game. It is deeply flawed, but I'm going to try my best for however long I persevere, if you have anyone chatting to me. So do expect me to die a lot. I have finished this completely. I've gone through the whole game and beaten everything and got, I think didn't get the rare lizard mineral to build some of the weapons, but other than that, I pretty much had everything, although I'm starting afresh. I will probably play to my strengths. I will be doing Haikai in the Nexus. If you know why I'll be doing that, then you're a Demon's Souls veteran. But for now, let's start and create a warrior. Could not connect to Demon's Souls service. For information regarding online service status, please check the support page on http://namco.bang. Okay, so Demon's Souls Online on the original PS3 version has been shut down. Of course, there is the brand new PS5 remake, and I suspect the reason they shut down the PS3 version was in anticipation of the PS5 remake. However, there is a fan server you can access, and you don't even need to have a modded PS3 or anything. You just need to slightly change your DNS and things. However, I'm playing offline for the sake of today's comparison because, quite frankly, I always play these games offline because I absolutely hate invasions. I find them annoying, and just people just trying to use the cheesiest tactics. Like, no, I just want to stroll around. It's hard enough fighting the enemies as it is having people invade your game constantly, especially as I don't like summoning help either. Basically, I like to do everything solo, so I don't like summoning help, and I don't like being invaded. But we'll jump into... So I won't be using the fan mode today, but we'll be starting the game on Loftmine until Visible Dragon, and I might just turn that up one. I should actually do a proper gameplay video of this, so camera left, right, up to camera speed, vibration. Yeah, turn off vibration. Music 10. Not that there's a huge amount of music in this. This opening start music is actually quite good. I will say From Software's games of late have not had very good music. Armored Core has an absolutely fantastic soundtrack that plays during every mission. Most of the Dark Souls and Demon's Souls games have what I call a boss soundtrack, in that when you're exploring the stages there is next to no music. Most of them have no music. I think one or two of the odd tune. but most of them have Zippo music except for the bosses, and the boss music is ba 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 ba. That's not very good. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice has a much better soundtrack, but FromSoft do need to work on their music. There should be ambient music that subtly fills the background areas. If people don't want it, they can turn it off, but they need to start including it. Their music has been poor, which is a shame because their Armour Core stuff's been fantastic, but the lack of music is an issue for almost every game. So let's give myself male. Okay, I've got male, female. Oh, it doesn't matter, I'm using the default. Let's see what the female looks like. Yeah, the default, the modelling in this one wasn't great, I have to admit. So class, what am I going to be? Knight. I think I'll be a Temple Knight, which I was when I did a full playthrough. Has been some years since I played through it, so do bear with me. I'm not going to be editing appearances, origins, west, east, south, north. Something that's not a monstrosity. Okay, that will do. Just try not to look like I'm bold. Okay, that's technically the closest to my actual hair at the minute, being all the current ongoing world events. Old slider doesn't really work that well, but I think you can do that there. Bump it up a little bit, reflecting my... I'm not exactly young anymore. General. Jaws, hair colour. Okay, that'll be fine. Yeah, let's go with that. That's all good, game. It's all good, game. Start. I don't want to change anything, I just want to start game. Edit back, gotta go back again. Okay, so soul level is 4, I think, yeah. Thief is quite high. Oh, hi Brick Boy, welcome back to the stream. Glad to see you've returned to Randomised Gaming. I'm Random Game Riven, the editor. I'm fine, thank you. I've been busy doing some blog related stuff today. Not too much video content. I'll hopefully have a video out on the channel. I do like to do regular channel videos over the week, so we do tend to do a lot of long plays. We haven't done too many long plays at the minute while I've been streaming, but I'll probably do some more. But yes, it's nice, and unfortunately it's been rather rainy here in the UK, so I hope you're having a good day yourself. So yeah, I'll stick with that appearance. Soul level. The Temple Knight's actually quite a good one because he starts off with quite good stats. Enter the character name. I should call myself. I should call myself Riven, shouldn't I? Okay, this uses the really old input mode that no one liked. You can tell this isn't. Well, it's not even that early PS3 game. This is 2009 in its first release. And this is I think the 2010 patch, so... Demon's Souls, despite the fact of being quite popular, was not an early PS3 game. It was released in 2009, and then it was... There's a Temple Knight Riven, let's go. So can I have never actually beaten the... So if you can beat... There's basically an introductory tutorial section. And a little known fact, I have never beaten the tutorial boss, because if you beat it, there's then a selection where you can get loads of loot before you get killed by...
King Alant the 12th, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valorfax of the royal Twin Fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Alant had aroused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls. Those who lose their souls also lose their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valorfax spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls. Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force. And the power of a mature demon soul is beyond human imagination. The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors were drawn to the accursed land, but none have returned. Bjor of the Twin Fangs, Yurt the Silent Chief, Sage Urbane, Skurver the Wanderer, the Sixth Saint Astraea and her knight Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog. Has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
Okay, hello, Blade of Murd. Great to see you back again. Yes, I was just letting the intro play itself out before I spoke again. This was a slightly different...
Brave soul who fears not death. I shall guide you. So that you may lull the old one back to slumber.
Yes, it is an absolute classic, Demon's Souls. It's not a perfect game. It does have a lot of problems that FromSoft's earlier games did. It incorporates a lot of the issues Demon's Souls had as well, but Kingsfield, I mean. But it does improve a lot of things from the Kingsfield series and expands it. So Demon's Souls itself is an expansion of the Kingsfield series. It is actually Kingsfield 5 in all but name, apart from the fact they did... I think it's even set in the Kingsfield world, but the big change is the fact that they went to a third-person camera angle, and that was because, of course, this is basically a homage to Monster Hunter, which in turn, Monster Hunter was a homage to Phantasy Star Online. So I'm just getting familiar with myself with the controls again. So that is block, that's parry, which I can never do that well. This should be light attack, so this should be strong attack. So change weapon to D-pad, change items to D-pad, yep. I am a Souls veteran, so I will probably die horribly in tonight's stream. I doubt I'll get that far. It's been yonks since I played this. Not leveling everything, but let's give it a go. Although I will try to avoid turning the world tendency dark, so I will be taking an infamous Nexus jump. Yeah, it was a very different game, although it's not actually, if you've played the previous Kingsfields games, it's not a bigger jump as some people might have expected, but it's because next to no one had played any of the Kingsfields games. If you played the Kingsfields games, this is just an extension of them, but because next to no one played games like the Kingsfield series, Shadow Tower, Abyss Tower, I've got a link to the blog. Actually, I'll put a link quickly to the blog page that details the history if you guys fancy a read of it. It's randomised gaming. It was actually quite a popular early article I did. It does need a bit of update. I don't mention much about Dark Souls 3. I don't mention Sekiro, although Sekiro is not really an extension of the... It's called A Brief Look at a Fantasy Series You Didn't Play Until Recently, and there are some videos. Oh, I need to update those videos. I just realised those thumbnails are all the old ones. Oh, I need to go. I'm going to be spending the next day or two actually just going through and updating the thumbnails so we can basically update all our existing videos, partly because of YouTube's changes now. Yeah, the online system was definitely very unique, so yeah. Just type this. So our feature on the series. So hopefully that works. But yeah, the online system was definitely very interesting. The whole invasion, attacking other games was totally fresh and unique. It's basically, it in turns based on Monster Hunter and, as I said, Phantasy Star Online. Appreciate the likes, guys. That's always really nice to see you enjoying this stream. I'll be chatting away tonight. I don't think I need the volume on too loud. There's not too much music. So I think we've only had the only cutscenes in game. Most of it's going to be me chopping away at monsters, going raw, and trying not to turn the world tendency dark. So read message. One standard attack. Now you can tell this tutorial. I am on offline. Although there is now a fan server. Okay, it's been a while, friends. Let's see if I can backstab him. No, I won't be backstabbing him. And he goes down. So circle's run is not well. Just remember, did you have jump in this? Heavy attack. I've never actually beaten the tutorial boss and got the loot behind it, so I'll be interested to give it a try. It's been a while since I played this actually. I'd quite like to redo it. Direction, hold and sprint. You've got to watch your stamina as always. It still looks good. I've heard mixed things about the remakes. I'm not entirely sure Blue Point quite knew what they were doing on this one. I've heard some slots, so I haven't played the remake, but I remember looking at it and think they brightened it up too much and a few other changes. It looks like Blue Point might have been the one time Blue Point didn't understand the game they were adapting, so... Yeah, Dark Souls has jump. That I do remember then. I think it's Dark Souls. One of Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 does have jump. And you were saying yeah, this is definitely Brickboy, not a series everyone's going to enjoy. You didn't like this, but you actually, I'm surprised you liked the second Dark Souls, actually. I wasn't a big fan of the second Dark Souls, but it's definitely a series that you have to persevere with. It's not a game you can play in 10 minutes, so... Oh yeah, the lock, camera lock. I always forget that. Oh, we do actually have a few offline... I didn't realise that. We have got a few offline ghosts, so I said I'm not playing online. There is, however, now an online... Oh, I got backstabbed there. No, I didn't want to eat that. But there is now an unofficial fan server that is up and running if you still want to play this game. That's the downside with blades, you will actually hit things, so like that thing with the larger halberdier, you'll hit the wall. Now I'm going to give it a try, see if I can beat the bonus boss. I'm trying to play Sekiro. Ironically, I'm actually playing Sekiro. Shadows May Die Twice at the minute. And I've just beaten Owl for the second time in that, and that's one tough fight. I haven't actually quite finished Sekiro Shadows May Die. Use item. Yep, I don't need to use item, although I did use one accidentally. Yeah, I'm playing offline, so there'll be preset offline. I know there's a few sort of offline preset things in case you're not playing. I'm just surprised they actually added in a few. They had a few preset ones, but FromSoft usually do that, but it means we won't see anyone to get in game. Okay, I lost a bit of health there from the fall. Circle back. Yeah, the roll, the dash thing is much better. This is a very good game. If you've never played it, I'm sure you'll get, whether you've got the PS5 or the PS3 version, they're both very good. I actually got the collector's edition, so, or the Black Phantom edition, which came with a music CD and came with a strategy guide based on the wiki at the time, because the European version was over almost a year after the American. In fact, I think it was a year after the American release. Backstabs there. Surprised. The frame rate suffers a little bit in this one, but that's to be expected. Yeah, these guys are quite. Yeah, these are like, I suppose they did really encourage a sort of more newer genre that's much, basically these arduent fantasy adventures with dark, sinister. Admittedly, technically it's a Kingsfield game. Kingsfields are literally the same as this, but so it's the Kingsfield series. But yeah, I've played Noia 1. I quite enjoyed that. I played Surge 1's very good. I really enjoyed Surge 1. It's a bit buggy. And Knights of the Fallen as well. That quite impressed me. But I still think the From Software games are probably the ones I've enjoyed the most, although I do think they do get certain things wrong with the balancing and difficulty. They're not perfect games in the slightest. They're sometimes overly hard in places for the sake of being hard. surprised I've got that many backstabs so far. Backstabbing could always be a bit hit and miss as well. Touch up. Not just yet. Walk to new area. I think they've forgotten what the warp points. But yeah, I mean, I haven't actually played that. So I finished Demon Souls, I finished Dark Souls, and I finished the DLC for Dark Souls. I finished Dark Souls 2, but I haven't done the DLC. I wasn't a big fan of Dark Souls 2 originally. It was quite an arduous grind of a game. But then that was largely done by Toes and outsourced. So the patched version I think is a lot better. Dark Souls 3 I've played the start of. I've got the complete edition. I wasn't overly impressed. They looked like they just made it hard for the sake of being hard. The third game, it wasn't great, but it's still, I mean, it's still a very good game. It just wasn't. It just felt like it was a bit of a. It felt like they were running out of ideas with Dark Souls 3. I have to admit. I've been really enjoying Sekiro Shadows Die Twice though, which is very good. Bloodborne is also very good. I haven't actually finished Bloodborne either. I've got right to the end and just haven't done one of the bosses. I was trying to do the DLC before I did the final boss. But Bloodborne, you have to concentrate more on parrying with the gun, which is quite infuriating. Sekiro, you need to practice doing the sword wiggle a lot and getting to know the enemies, so... That must be the parry system in this. I didn't think was that good because that's that one to parry. Code Vein. I've not heard of that one. I have to admit. I'll have to look up that one. Although you didn't like the level design. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Though I'm always interested in trying new games, even if I don't like them. We actually have. Quite a large collection, as there's a couple of us that do randomised gaming, so we generally keep hold of our stuff where possible. Parry. L2 parry. R1 repose. Oh, you want me to parry? Okay, I'll give it a parry. I was never that good at parrying. I mainly did stuff via thrusting, but let's... I think the sword strikes are a bit quick in this and a bit unnatural, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to judge the Sekiro. They're much better to judge the parrying. Sekio's really got it down, I will admit. You can also go two-handed as well, which I've forgotten about. Single-handed and two-handed, and I just suddenly remembered, oh yeah, I used to fight two-handed. Yeah, we don't always agree on what games we like and dislike. I have to give Code Vein a shot, so I don't know what it's like, so it's nice to you guys chatting away. Your weapons with both hands release, yeah. Get familiar with the controls. I've never done the mini boss fight coming up. I've always died at it, so it's been sometimes I've tried it. So. Admittedly, I think the stamina is very limited in this original. He just seems to largely be guarding, doesn't he? I'm sure, as you guys are well aware, this is nothing on the rest of the game. This bit's easy, the rest of the game is brutally unforgiving. Change weapon, change item. yes, miracles. What were my miracle spells again? Oh, he's got heal, that's right. I must admit, it'll be interesting. I haven't played this properly since I finished it, and I've since done Dark Souls, redone. Ironically, I finished the original Dark Souls and Demon Souls on the same day because I did Dark Souls and I'd literally got to the end of Demon Souls and then just played through the end. So for me, this is kind of coming back to an old classic, and it's like playing an earlier version of the series. But as I mentioned, this is definitely not... I mean, the story in this is just a touch different from Dark Souls. Whereas Dark Souls, it's about the dead fighting amongst themselves. This is more about adventurers exploring loot. So I do wonder if we'll get a direct sequel to this, even though technically Dark Souls was a direct sequel. So whether Sony will just have to use the Demon Souls, although, as many people have pointed out, the apostrophe is incorrect on the name. It should be Demon Souls. Okay, so we've got the boss coming up. I really want to get the... If I beat him, I get a load of loot, so I think I'm probably best to wait till he does this jump up and down. I don't know if there's much point in me holding the shield, actually. One heal at present, okay. It's been a while since I've heard that sound effect actually. I was taking it back a bit. I spent many days during my time in Scotland, I spent many a night playing this. I'll definitely have to give Code Vein a shot though, I've never actually played it. Right. I want to examine corpse. Now, I think this is the boss, isn't it? Is he gonna... I have no idea how long it took me to finish this game originally, but certainly not the 7 hours I saw. Personally, I think Demon Souls is a much more solid game than Dark Souls. Some areas of Dark Souls are unfinished. That is very true. You do have a very unfinished area in Dark Souls in the form of the lava location. That said, the swamp in this location is utterly unfinished and broken as well. It was just, even From Software admitted that location was done in a rush. So both games have elements of unfinishedness about them. No, the lava, the swamp in this one is, even From Software admitted they had problems. So both games have at least one duff location, and the dragons are OT overkill in this one as well. Unfortunately, the dragons are so annoying. They were designed as real progression blockers that don't fit well. You basically end up tactic of just sitting and shooting them at bows of ages. So here goes with the boss. Let's see how well I can do. I want to basically need to wait till he... Ideally, I think it's a good idea for me to just keep it around. Oh well, another time then. I wasn't out of range when he jumped up. Basically, you've got to get behind... What I think the tactic is to get behind him. I was too close when he jumped down, and then... Another playthrough then. I really want to try and beat him. He's the one... Hello, Archivile82. Thanks for joining the stream.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
drawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended. This is the Nexus. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not exit the Nexus, but each of the 5 archstones will connect it to another.
Yes, we have died. You have died in the Nexus. Trapped your soul. You cannot escape the Nexus. Yes, we are stuck here till we defeat the old one. You can reclaim your physical body. Yep, we can indeed. Yeah, I've read the interview where they admit Lost Isaac was unfinished. It was disappointing when they did the HD port. They didn't polish it. Yeah, Valley of Defilement, it's the second part is very rushed, and there was a couple of interviews where they later admitted they think it was badly designed, that stage, and needed to be changed. It's just... it's the one section of Demon Souls that lets it down, I have to admit. Every other location is really well done in Demon Souls. But Valley of Defilement. The first part of Valley of Defilement's really good. It's the second part. We just have the big old lake and you just have to run around the edges of it. It's probably just not a very good location. So we have the Crestfallen Warrior who goes in. He's in every one, just goes mad in each one.
Well, you slipped through the fissure too, did you? You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Hunting for demons? Try one of the archstones. Now, go. That is why you came, is it not? To this accursed Boletaria?
Yeah, it's the one area I dislike. Everywhere else in Demon Souls is really good. But I will agree, Valley Defilement is better than Lost Isis, which is just one of the worst locations going. I really wish they'd updated it in the HD remake and turned it into like a ruined city. Damaged Archstone there, which is where you go to face the end of the game. Actually go to the Archstone is sealed. Yes, I was going to say you need to beat the first boss before you can actually travel to any of the other locations. Archstone is sealed. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd boss, the Valley of Defilement. You basically fight Gin Varland, and he's not... By the time I got to him, he was just such a... He's just basically like a normal trooper, so he doesn't really take much. But then I suppose there is something nice about this, that not all the bosses in this are straight monsters that just throw around massive weapons. And the dragon battle's quite interesting because it's not a fight... It's an interesting one. It's annoying, but when you think about it, it's a different battle to a lot of the others. Dark Souls 1 doesn't tend to just tends to have big monsters. Dark Souls 2 has big monsters with sword, and that's when things start to get a bit repetitive. I think Demon Souls, I think, are the most interesting bosses. So We have 2 characters here. I didn't think the blacksmith was here. There's 2 blacksmiths. I didn't think both of them were here. I wanted to get one originally.
You new here? Do you hear from our services? My name's Baldwin. Just an ordinary blacksmith. It's simple. Just bring me all the souls you can. In trade, I'll give you weapons, or forge ones you already have. With your souls, I can eke out a living. And with my weapons, you can go on living. Not a bad deal, huh?
Hello, XGaming765 as well. We've got quite a few people on stream tonight. I'm glad I picked this one then. I apologize, I won't be getting that far. It's definitely... Let's actually upgrade weapon holder, dear. $380 souls. So, upgrading in this one.
No interest, eh? I can tell you're not gonna last long here.
Thank you for insulting me, Thrent. And then we have...
I'm Stockpile Thomas. When the scourge came, I didn't know what hit me. When I came to, I found myself here, in the Nexus. My wife and daughter fell victim to the demons. But I would be worthless in battle. At the very least, I hope to lend my assistance to you brave slayers of demons. I would be happy to lighten your load and look after any excess baggage.
Okay, Stockpile Thomas is the greatest NPC in the entire Soul series. Mainly because between him and the blacksmith, there is a bug that lets you duplicate items so you don't have to spend forever farming them, which is a blessing if you've ever done like I have and actually farmed, what is it, Dark Blade Essence, which is the most brutal farm I've ever done in a Souls game. I think it took me something like 200 of those black skeletons that you fight later on. I can't remember, I think they're sort of the black dark skeletons with double swords. It's like black masks or something. They're basically black skulls. I can't remember what they're called exactly. But basically they're in the one of the later sections, and you basically have to just keep killing them and killing them and killing them until one of them gives you the essence. Let's chat with the NPCs.
When the scourge came, I abandoned my wife and daughter and fled like a madman. When I came to, I was in the Nexus. I haven't dared venture outside these walls since. I wish I could do more, but I am ignorant of the world beyond these walls. That Candle Maiden cared for me during my first days in the Nexus. She says very little, but has a kind heart. She's just the age my young daughter would have been. The poor, poor girl, trapped here with her eyes occluded by wax. If only something could be done to help her. Best of luck to you.
What are the downsides of Demon Souls? If you ever inadvertently attack an NPC, you can literally mess up your game. Because unfortunately you can't...
It's simple. Just bring me all the souls you can.
So attack...
In trade, I'll give you weapons, or forge ones you already have. With your souls, I can eke out a living, and with my weapons, you can go on living. Not a bad deal, huh?
Just trying to work out if I'm human or undead. I think I'm undead, but I'm gonna...
Perhaps you've already heard, but there's another blacksmith at the entrance of Stonefang Mine. He's an eccentric old man, but he knows his trade well. He's the only sane one left in a town of soul-starved men. If you do meet him... Yeah, well, forget it. That stubborn old ne'er-do-well will just ignore you.
Yes, I do want to repair my equipment. I forgot I need to... One of the things in this one, you do need to keep your equipment repaired quite regularly.
Do come back alive. I need your business.
I think that's pretty much it for the NPCs, and this was it. Most of the others aren't upstairs yet. Most of them that are tucked around here we need to find. It's literally just the blacksmith. Ah, yes, it's the ambassador girl.
Oh my. How has this happened? Has God abandoned us for failing to show proper respect to King Alant? Oh, Mbasa. Oh, Mbasa.
I think that's it for the NPCs. Now, am I human? I think I'm in Souls form, but I just want to double check. So let me show you the customary of any Souls veteran whenever you come. If you're playing in an offline game, what you do. You run up to the top of the Nexus, and then you do this. And this is customary if you're in human form for most Souls veterans. I was in Phantom form. Get the Silent Chief. Phantom form. Good, good. I'll just get my souls back. Not that I have too many. But early on, every soul counts. But basically, yeah, veteran souls will know why I did that, because you don't want to turn your world tendency dark. And that is one of the big problems a lot of people had with this game, is that the world tendency system is one of the worst explained systems in the franchise. It was also only used in this one as well. They actually axed it because basically they realised it put some players in an unwinnable position. I quite liked it, but there should have been a character or NPC at the start in the Nexus here that should have said, do you want to go dark or do you want to go light? Should have made it very clear what your world tendencies are. I think there might be an NPC up the top, actually. I'm just trying to work out if there's any other NPCs here. Remind me, guys, are there any other NPCs here by default? Can't remember if one of the monks is here. But yes, hello to... I was going to say Archvile 82. I haven't played the remake. How does the remake differ? Because from what I've seen, I've heard some mixed things about the remake. I think they over-cluttered it with cutlery and things in some locations from what I saw, and then they didn't... I don't think Bluepoint quite understood how to develop a Souls game, and unfortunately FromSoft weren't involved, so some of the game looked like it didn't quite have the dark shadowing menace that this one did. I mean, Bluepoint have done some very good games, but I think, or certainly done some very good updates, but I think this is one they didn't quite understand that well. And I suspect they perhaps didn't quite approach it with the mindset of the Japanese developers would have done. Much appreciated for the likes on stream, guys. As always, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit that like button. Of course, I'm your host for this stream, Random Gamer Riven. And if you do like our content here at Randomised Gaming, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Just exploring the next sort of sections around. You've got a lot of weird empty rooms. There are a few NPCs that when they turn up you really do want to bump off as quickly as possible as well. Yurt the assassin was one. There is a bit up the top where you have all like the monks, don't you? I can't remember where that is. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking, the Monumental, yeah. I have a feeling I can't access the Monumental at the minute. It's right at the very top, can't you? You can get to the top. Can't see, there should be stairs up, and I can't see them. Because you get to the top and there's basically a room for the characters. Yeah, I have a feeling. It's basically like you have, it's above us, and I think it should be this access point. And it's sealed off at the minute because we're deemed not worthy enough to venture forward. So, okay, so good. I've got. So I won't be turning the darks. So the first thing, like many people, I did was I made the world tendency dark on my first playthrough and had no idea what was going on. I just suddenly got lots of really hard phantoms turn up, and eventually I figured out what was going on and managed to sort it. But I was lucky enough. I was in a position where I could correct the dark world tendency.
You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? It's all the same. You're just another prisoner of the Nexus. We're welcome here, as long as we keep slashing up demons.
You can actually walk away from people and they get quite annoyed, which is quite a nice touch. You can also attack pretty much every NPC in the game. So the game at the start directs you to Boletaria Palace only. You have to clear the first boss before you can actually exploring any other locations. You guys probably already know that as well. By the sound of it, you're all battle hard Souls series fans, such as myself. Well, I said I do still need to beat the third game. I do still need to beat the DLC for the second one. I think with all the patches, the second one got a lot better, but initially I wasn't a big fan of it. And I know the second one, they reworked a lot of the game at the last minute, as originally there was a torch system, but they didn't correctly light up some of the areas afterwards. Now that is what I call an entrance. Ah, yes. The dragon, who we'll be encountering later. I think he crops up in a few places in this stage. You don't battle him directly. You basically have to fight him because he basically prevents you from travelling down parts of the latest stage. It's a bit of a nightmare to pass, actually. A lot of the characters are. So I literally now have no health. And I need to actually get a ring in soul form. The ring I think I need is the one from... Turn to the Nexus. No, so that is the Archstones, which you navigate. Basically, they're like your Firestones from Dark Souls, the statues from Shadows Die Twice. I can't remember what they were in Bloodborne now. I'm used to getting the heal up in Sekio as well. Shadows Die Twice now. Okay, so this door will only open if I have all white world tendency or all black world tendency. And ideally I want to go for the white version first, so that means it's going to be a while before I get that one. But at least that way it prevents the game going further dark. It must be the classic mistake of any player is to run through this section right at the start. All the enemies are hiding behind the barricades. It's a real trip down for memory lane for me. It's been quite some time. So. There's one in there. Come on, buddy. Go now. Now the classic tactic they use is they're going to try and basically often you'll get surprised by multiple enemies. The enemies on their own are relatively easy to deal with. In numbers they are a deep threat to you. I'm going to double tag a lot of these guys. I tended to use two-hand weapons actually in this. I found the shielding just meant, although you could avoid damage, it just reduced your attack too much. The games, I will say the balancing on some of the Soul games is not great. They generally have a curve where the start is brutally unforgiving and then later on the difficulty takes a nosedive south of Antarctica as you start leveling up heavily. This one you also got a weird thing where there's a hidden bonus for getting kills and stuff, so you sometimes get soul upgrades and level upgrades which you can put out there. I'm chatting away. Okay, I won't heal up just yet. I think I need to go to the tower. Always worth smashing. So what I want to do is draw these guys forward so that way I can take them out without the archer. So at least I'm not... Oh, he got... Someone obviously did something very stupid there. And I got his souls. So one can obviously... I've got to be very careful. I'm sure you're aware there are lots of surprise enemies. Now I seem to remember falling down there, despite the weird portal looking thing, was not a good idea. Do remind me if I miss stuff, guys. It has been ages since I played this. This is not going to be a perfect run in the slightest. I expect I'll be dying horribly lots of times. Just trying to remember what that item was. Inventory, soldiers, heals. I literally can't remember what's on the items. Half moon. Ah, I see. Half moon grass is the better version. That mystical pool was not a good thing to fall down, was it? So the maiden was how you upgraded in this one. We always had to go back to the Nexus to upgrade, and later on it was made to the... They're just going to come charging through, so... Got to be careful there. They might actually, if I do this way, they might be silly enough to... This, must be, having played Sekiro, it's been playing Sekiro this past year. The stamina bar... Oh, I didn't need to heal. The stamina bar is something I've not been used to for a while. I just remember the stamina bar in this is very, very... Yeah, do remind me if I miss secret walls or anything. I know there are a couple you do the old kick animation. What's the kick? Heavy flip. Did you get the kick? I will admit the Soul games are definitely not everyone's cup of tea. There are a lot of issues with them that I think some people won't like. They are very unforgiving. They are not games you will be finishing in a couple of hours. They do take a lot of time to finish. You do need to get used to the mechanics. You do need to get used to the gameplay. You will die ironically, as the subtitle they used, Prepare to Die, although I much preferred Barbarian, which used that better. Okay. That's good. That got them both. No, no, I didn't mean to do that. I've really enjoyed Sekiro. So, Sekiro is quite a bit different to this in terms of how it plays and how it does. I've actually really enjoyed Sekiro more than I've enjoyed Dark Souls 3. But it is quite a bit of a different pace. It is more a samurai game than it is a soul game. There are a lot of mechanics. Now, I seem to recall that something comes charging down these stairs. But yeah, Sekiro, I've been really enjoying Sekiro, and it has taken me a while. Sekiro, I think you have to really get used to pressing. Basically, Sekiro has a parry system. If I just basically like this with the sword, but you have to use it constantly. You really have to get used to deflecting. But I have really enjoyed Sekiro. I've really enjoyed it. It does take a while to get used to, though. It's not a perfect game. Sekiro is not an easy game at all. The fighting, once you get used to it, I kind of prefer some of the elements of Sekiro, but it's largely, I mean, it's a soul game with samurais, but there's much more of a story to it. So the characters do have much more there's much more chatting with the various characters and meeting them. And there's a couple of NPCs that you can always go and chat to at any point. So that's something quite a bit different, whereas originally in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, a lot of the NPCs feel like shadowy remnants. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to get a boulder come crashing down on me very shortly. But overall, I've enjoyed it. I haven't quite finished Sekiro. There are 4 endings in Sekiro. There's one ending I've already gone past because you can basically do a bad ending, although that would have meant fighting 2 additional bosses I didn't fight. I've actually done the other set up for me doing the other 3, although I've currently done one of the bosses related to one of the endings. I'm just trying to... The giant ape boss, I got a tactic for him to beat him down really quickly. There's actually a really great YouTube guide on Sekiro. So the giant ape boss is really annoying on Sekiro because you can't parry him at all, at least not in the first phase. It's he's a real nightmare of a boss now. I think this is where... Basically, I found burn was quite a good tactic for the giant ape boss and a few other bits, and his second form, you can literally run around the arena the whole time until he does a dive, and then you can dodge it, and then you can whack him. Yeah, parrying. There's a really great guide, actually. The guy's called something like the Fuzzy Barbarian, who writes really good guides. I've really enjoyed his stuff. He writes some really, really good Sekiro guides. He does some YouTube videos as well. I'll see if I can remember what his name is. I know there's a boulder coming down one of these things at some point. Okay, so I don't think I can break that yet, can I? I have a feeling something is about to come yet. Okay, buddy. You come down, you crack that through, and I'll go get this item. Yeah, that's something I actually remembered from Yonks Gone Back. Let me just link to, there's a great guy on YouTube. I'll just quickly link it to actually, seeing as, there's a really good guide video. His strategies are really good, but one of them, the Great Ape, was when you, basically, I don't know if you got to his second form, but, Guardian Ape, isn't it? Actually, again, the Fuzzy Barbarian, that's right, this guy here. So if you're looking for a really good boss guide on, yeah. This guy, for that second form of the Guardian Ape, you can run around, basically, and wait till he does a really low lurk, and then he'll do the dive, and then you can run around him and smack him on the back. And that's one I actually developed. I probably should try and do a video. If you want, I can always do a video of it, Arch, but I'll show you my strategy, but this guy does some really good videos on how to beat the bosses. He's called the Fuzzy Barbarian. His guides are fantastic. Initially, I found the parrying a bit tricky, but the more I've played it and I've watched that guy's videos, I've really started to get a hang of it. The one thing you can do is there's a quick parry tip of just rapidly pressing L trigger, and that's a fantastic tip, just rapidly pressing L trigger, and that enables you to beat a lot of the bosses, deflect most of the bosses. So basically just doing this in Sekiro, pressing the L1 trigger rapidly allows you to beat a lot of the boss, deflect a lot of the boss attacks. But yeah, parrying's not my strong point in this one either, I will admit. I was never good with the parry. Okay, so I think this is the bonus area back here, isn't it? Oh crap, this guy. I'm actually doing better. I was expecting to have died by about now, I must admit. I'm guessing, having finished this game before, even though it's been probably close to 7 or 8 years since I finished this, playing the other Souls games has definitely improved my ability with the franchise. Okay, here comes the tough part. Okay, that was not a good idea, taking him on. What's annoying now is I've mashed quite a few cells that I could use to upgrade, but now I'm going to have to go back and get them. I don't want to put myself back to square one by getting killed. Killed so early on. And despite the fact it's told me my PS3 battery's low, I know I was going to have a good hour or two battery life left, so... Yeah, Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 I found much harder. You might be right, because I'm definitely finding it easier than what I remember. But Bloodborne is really tricky. That father thingy fight is so annoying with the werewolf, matey. That fight was my sticking point for about a week and a half on Bloodborne, and then after that I just creamed the rest of the game up to when I got to the DLC. I was also annoyed about Bloodborne because I inadvertently killed one of the NPCs when I whacked her, and so I lost the end of her storyline, which really annoyed me. Because I literally, it's one of the characters gets injured, and then all of a sudden I just hit her the once and she was gone, and then it's like, oh great. I literally just stood next to her and just knocked the R trigger, so I literally stood next to her and did that, and then she was gone, and that... Yeah, I definitely think Demon Souls, yeah, it definitely doesn't seem quite as hard as I remember it. And yeah, Dark Souls 3 I found very unforgiving at the start. I mean, I got out of the first location, but I got a bit fed up. I got running around the village after the first location. I thought it just didn't feel as good as the first game. I think for me Dark Souls 1 is the best. I didn't like Dark Souls 2 that much, although I haven't played it too much since the DLC and they patched it, but the opening experience when it first got released was a bit hit and miss. Once they patched it, I started to enjoy... I had another go a little while back and I enjoyed it more. I haven't played through the PS4 version of Dark Souls 2 yet, because the PS3 version of Dark Souls 2 is technically a different game because they changed all the enemy placement. So if you fancy, especially Dark Souls 2 on PS3, and then there's the harder version on PS4 for Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I've not done the Dark Souls 2 DLC, so I need to do that. Is it better than the main game than the DLC? Yes, God of the First Skins was the DLC, and they added in the extra ending, didn't they? it was much improved. That did an additional boss and ending. I think they realised Dark Souls 2 had problems initially, so FromSoft did fix it. Yeah, I do need to fully replay Dark Souls 2, give it another crack of the whip, see what it's like. Because Dark Souls 1 was quite unforgiving before the... I finished it while they were patching it, so Dark Souls 1 was very difficult to begin with and then got much, much easier. Yeah, and I think my experience here is really showing... Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the... I must admit, I wasn't a fan of the Aurora DLC on Dark Souls 1 because Aurora was just a brutal boss. Yeah, the main reason for Dark Souls being quite a bit different is that it wasn't actually... It was FromSoft's like secondary team in conjunction with Toes, although Toes did work on most of the on most of the Dark Souls games. They're the outsourcing developer. I think they did more work on Dark Souls 2 than Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls. That's the thing, the kicked metal ball was actually a one-time only event, so there are lots of that in this which are quite nice, sort of one-time only events, so once they've happened, they won't happen again. Right, I won't go fighting. I really want to go... This is the thing with Demon Souls, you get beaten by an enemy and you want to go fighting again. They also yeah. Okay, this is where I've got to be careful. Okay, I shouldn't really be fighting that guy, it seems. I thought I'd give it a second whack. I won't do it a third time. He's obviously... Red-eyed knight, yeah, he's obviously much more desired. That hit alone told me. Right, I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water as my voice is getting a bit hoarse, and then I'll be back. Okay, thanks for joining, Blade. I'm just come back now, but yeah, much appreciated. I'll be chatting away with the other guys though. Right, so hope I will not go at the end of the Red Knight this time. I don't want to get chopped up again. Don't make the same mistake 3 times, although I made it twice. Yeah, those guys are quite tricky. They are very tricky. I was hoping, that's the thing, this early on stage you need to be an absolute ninja to take them down. And it's been a while since I played this, so I don't really want to go. I imagine for you guys it's not great rewatching the same section, but that is kind of the Dark Demon Souls gameplay. Although the Nexus music is very nice. But yeah, appreciate you guys on stream. The circle backstab, yeah. Yeah, I managed to get quite a few backstabs early on. And then I haven't been doing them since, because I generally don't tend to do backstabs, because I find them quite slow to initiate. But yeah, they're instant takedowns, so I need to get down there, because then the World Tendencies, you can get to that location, you've got some nice loot. Although you can get to it if you turn the World Tendency dark, but I don't really... Technically I could turn the World Tendency dark early on, because that way you can get down there. But it's a good idea to turn it dark and then turn it light. Because once offline, you can't turn it back now. Although there is a new server, as I said, there is a private server you can play if you set it up correctly. That does allow you, so there is a private fan server that has resuscitated, and I've seen a few videos on how to access it. I think it's called like the Archwell Stone. And basically they do have a number of players online, and you can reconnect, and you can do it on just a stock PS3. Without anything, you just have to set up a particular DNS and then it will search for the server. Oh wow, I nearly had a I didn't want to fall off the top there. I was a bit careless there. They nearly got me with the whack attack. All these enemies, as you'll learn in the Souls games, never underestimate a single enemy, else they will take you down. Surprised how quickly they drop Crescent Moon. I've already got quite a lot stockpile of the health. Right, let's get up there. I seem to remember them doing more damage originally. I guess it is just literally me being probably more experienced with the franchise. Although Sekio, I will admit, Sekio is ridiculous with some of the bosses shredding you up. One of the things I will say about Sekio is some of the bosses do ridiculous amounts of damage. Your health bar in 2 hits, even when you're like fully leveled, is just a bit of an insult to the players. It's like, oh, we want to make it hard. We don't know how to make it harder. Let's just make the enemies kill you in one hit. That's not so good boss design. And FromSoft, I don't think FromSoft have made a perfect Souls game. Each game has its own issues. And if you enjoy From Software's Armor Souls series, and if you've I don't know if it's certainly worth looking at, said the earlier Kingsfield games they did, that this is basically the expansion of, because this was effectively Kingsfield 5, and definitely also look at the Armor Core series, those headless demons. Yeah, the headless demons in Sekio, what they don't tell you is you're supposed to use divine confetti on them to take them down. Once you have divine confetti and a terror thing, they're actually not that hard. The problem was I didn't realise you needed divine confetti to basically damage them. So if you have divine confetti and an Echo sugar, they're actually quite easy to take down. And the headless demons, actually you can get behind them and just constantly whack them. But initially they are such a nightmare to beat. And it wasn't until someone said, no, you've got to use divine confetti for because divine confetti, although it doesn't make it clear, actually increases the damage on your sword, as does the Echo sugars. Now let's got to be a bit careful as this guy's coming. Yeah, the sugar buffs don't last very long at all. You can get an item that buffs them. It's in the so I don't know if you know, there's a school of moves related to the Buddha sect, the temple, and basically one of them buffs the length of sugar items. In fact, I think it buffs all the items. Okay, I think there's another I think if I go this way, there's actually another Archwell stone. Ah, yes, so there's a blue knight. The blue-eyed ones are the weaker ones. I didn't realise that guy was thrusting and lunging all over the place. I'm like, yeah, that's like really old. That guy's quite easy to avoid. I'm like, these guys used to give me trouble. So the red demon one, he basically whacks you because he's got a spear, so I suspect we can get... I think the item... I need to go this way to... Can't smash those. After playing this again, it's giving me a bit of goosebumps. It's like, yeah, this is a really good game. Oh, was that a destroyable wall? If I miss it, if you guys remember where the secret walls are, give me a shout. I cannot remember where they are for the life of me. Okay, I'll let them two nuke themselves. So one of the ways Demon Souls works is, although the labyrinths are quite levels are quite labyrinth, you will find there like switches to open doors that allow you to bypass sections. Yeah, the early so Kingsfield 4 is very good, but some of the other earlier ones, I know exactly what you mean. Shadow Towers, yeah, so Kingsfield 4 on the PS2 is very good. Eternal Ring is very good. Oh, there's the other one. There's like a fighting one that's a third-person one. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, so this is what you've got to be careful of, is when you get mobbed like this, it's very easy to get taken out in a mob. Yeah, he just did the frenzied attack me on there, so I've just taken a load of damage. That's what I've got to watch. Keep my health up. No, don't do that. I need to use... One of the things is I'm using a straight attack because that way, if you use that one, you're going to... Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they were explosive barrels. You don't want to whack them with a... They're gunpowder. Don't whack them with an explosive, else they're going to go sky high. And if I pull lever, this will open up a shortcut. But yeah, I really enjoy FromSoft's older games as well. The Cling Ring. Now, is this what I think it does? Ah, yes. Lose less HP. Really? Was the Cling Ring that early on in the game? I thought it was much... The Cling Ring. There's basically this restores your health more. So I didn't realise it was this early on in the game. I thought it was further on. Jade Hair Ornament. So those NPCs are just dropped us Jade Haired Ornament. I think you gave that to... So some new armour. Don't think I'm gonna... Old rags, yeah, I don't really want to use them. Basically, I kept one of every item originally. I must be playing this, I'm thinking, oh, I'd quite like to do another run through of this again. It really is a good game. That door we open later. I think this one we opened later as well as we progress. So there's a few items down there, and there's a lizard down there I can see. Oh, I hate those lizards, they're such a pain to get. Yeah, we did actually do a video on Eternal Ring, and I really did enjoy Eternal Ring. This is a world tendency door, isn't it? Yeah, this won't unlock until I think it's either all white or all black, the world tendency, as I mentioned earlier. But you can see why this was so popular among the import crowd when it first came out, and people were like, yeah, why don't Sony release this on the PS3? And they didn't. It was up to Atlus and Namco in the end. Atlus released it in North America, and Namco released it belatedly in Europe in 2010, but thankfully they did release it. Okay, I've just actually remembered I do need to find an arch zone, because one of the issues in this game is equipment breaks fairly easily, and I've not repaired my weapon in a while. So seeing as the enemies are here, I probably should enter the fog. Now, in the later games, the fog is only used for the boss stores, but in... Actually, is it sometimes... In this one, it's sometimes used for progression areas, so the boss is not here yet. The boss is a big slime thing coming. I'm going to have to run from this guy, because he's going to throw a fire thing. Yeah. Yeah. When I first played this, that would have got me out. Yeah, yeah, spot on there, Archvile. From Software, I mean, From Software have been doing really great world building since the Kingsfield games and the Armour Core. If you haven't played Kingsfield, I highly, if you want to try some of their other games, I highly recommend the Armoured Core series. They are really good games as well. Two-handed things, so.
Good day to you. Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but who's telling you? Go ahead, take your time. I'm not going anywhere.
I'd actually forgotten. I thought Patches was the main vendor. Good old Patches. Patches didn't appear in any of the later games. I thought Patches would be a regular character in all the series. I haven't got a bow equipped. I don't have a secondary weapon. Shadow Man Remastered. You know, I've not actually played any of the Shadow Man games. They did remaster it recently, didn't they? The original one, they've got quite a nice Dreamcast version. It's one we should try and grab at some point, I feel. A lot of people say it's quite an underrated game. I know it was based on a...
Please, help me. I am trapped, surrounded by dreglings.
So yep, got to help that guy. Inventory management's definitely a lot more important in this than some of the other ones in the latest Souls games. Plus, maintaining your weaponry. You really have to be careful with maintaining your weapons.
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a token of my gratitude. Now I must go. There is something for me to take care of.
So one of the many NPCs, Boletaria, but I believe he helps you in some of the fights, that guy. That's him rescued. I think that I'm from behind that one, so yeah. Forgotten how windy this castle was. I think he just walks around there until we get to the Nexus. Yeah, I think he just wanders around. Yeah, so one of the slight things is the fact that the NPCs don't have anywhere to go when you meet them. They'll just wander around until you hit an archstone, at which point they will...
No matter how far I venture, only the soul-starved remain. Is there a single sane person left in Boletaria? No matter how far Is there a...
Is there a sane person left in Boletaria? No, there isn't. It was all King, is it Alant's fault? Alant's fault? I think it's Alant. And he's the primary villain in this game. He effectively became the old one. The old one, I think the name may well have been taken from sort of Lovecraft's work. Oh, and they all got hit. Basically the boulders take them all down. I forgot about that. I thought, yeah, you especially whack the boulders and then they all come rushing out. As I pulled back, they were... So I can sell one of the stuff. So you'll see the two dragons there. You can actually release the boulders. Now, I believe the dragons had some loot. However, I'm not going to approach them. Yeah, the downside with the stream is that because of how YouTube works, the stream you're seeing is about 30 seconds to a minute behind. I think it's about 30 seconds behind. So often people will say something, and unfortunately, it's quite useful. But unfortunately, because of how YouTube works, the stream's always a slight bit behind. But thanks for the tip there, Archibald. I didn't realise, but I've totally forgotten about the boulders behind me. Although I had one of the archers inadvertently release them. So as I remember round here, I'm just going to see. There is some quite cool loot. I'm not going to go near the dragons. I think you needed the bow to scare them off, as I remember. Yeah, suffice to say. Yeah, the boulders do take you down if you're don't see them coming. So I'm going to leave the dragons there. I seem to recall the way was to scare them off with bows. I'm just gonna run down here because it's quite impressive actually to that you can see the dragons there, but I'm not going anywhere near the items they've dropped. You have to scare off the dragons if you want to go for them, suffice to say. Else you will be a crispy inferno otherwise, and I can't remember quite the way to get them. I think it was you would wait till after you'd basically attack them so they'd run off, and then you could grab the loot. And a lot of the dragons are literally use about 300 arrows on them. So this section I'm just going to literally draw all the guys down. I was going to say I thought the dragon burnt the bridge. Oh great, am I going to have to shoot the beggar? Okay, so he's flown back there. I think now I can make a quick run for it. Tell you lads, I'm not staying around when the dragon is about to burn your shish kebab. Okay, that's actually the main gate in the boss. Yeah, they really have to explore every nook and cranny, as they say. You don't know where. There are literally so many areas where so many hidden items are just tucked away. So I'm actually quite impressed I've got through the... What's that? Trying to attack me? That's not good. Actually, yeah, I'm quite... I didn't know if I'd get to the first boss. I'm actually quite impressed. Hell, if I ran it again, I might be able to get the time down even more, such as releasing the boulders and... Okay, so I've just got to get through this bit and then I can... That's all I'll avoid. Yeah, because I forget you don't have the healing item in this one, so health is quite a bit different in how it works. You don't have the gourd. Okay, that is a precursor to what we're going to be fighting in a few minutes with the boss. Lots of hero souls as well. I didn't think I'd get. Lots of plague-ridden. Yeah, go whacking me. So I think it's quite easy to avoid as well. So I won't go to the boss straight away. I will get my loot. I'm also going to head back to the Nexus, upgrade my gear. And huzzah, that is the doors opened and we have the boss door there. Now I'm not going to just run into there just yet. I'm actually going to... You can actually get this weird spear thing as a weapon. I can't remember whose weapon this is. There is some lore to that. But returning to the Nexus does heal you. I do need to drop off some items. I've got actually quite a bit in my inventory as well. Weight in this one's much more relevant as well, the weight of your weapons.
Oh, good day to you. I can forge weapons for you for a fair price.
So repair the equipment. This is where it gets expensive, repairing equipment. You always want to repair your equipment as soon as you come back to the Nexus. See, that's actually cost me quite a bit to repair, but that's... So upgrade weapons. So I think I can forge a straight upgrade with just souls alone. So DE 95, and this will... So D&E will increase, so stat bonus, so let's... You can upgrade armor as well, I believe. Was that the other blacksmith?
There aren't enough blacksmiths in this temple to handle all the work. Only certain ores can be used to forge weapons, but you'll just have to make do. And be thankful that I'm still of good health. And be thankful that I'm still of good health. Do come back alive. I need your business.
Characters in this are quite hilarious. They are quite grumbly. You can actually walk away from them and they'll get quite irate as well, and then chastise you when you return.
That hairpin, that belongs to my daughter. Then she didn't make it after all. My dearest little baby. May she rest in peace. May I ask you a favor? Would you mind giving up that hairpin? I'd like to have it in memory of my daughter. You're a saint. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I mustn't forget. It's not much, but please accept this as thanks. I'm a bit ashamed to say, but I found it one day, discarded on the main road. But it seems to possess a strange power. Anyway, I feel that you should have it. It will be happier in your hands.
Ring of Herculean Strength. Yes, Ambassador. Hello, Dubs. Thanks for joining the stream. We're just about to face off against the first boss, which I didn't think I'd actually get to in this stream. I'll definitely try and do a cleaner run as a gameplay video. Well, the problem with the gameplay stuff is that this is one game. I mean, I've seen people do runs of about 7 hours, but I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't be doing this in a 7-hour run. I'd be lucky if I did this in about a 30-hour run.
I would be happy to lighten your load.
Okay, deposit items. So what do I need to get rid of? I need to get rid of pretty much everything. I'll keep with all the health items for now. I forgot, I should have technically duped. If I wanted to be cheeky, I could just duplicate the minerals and items, but I don't really need to do that at this point. That. I don't need that. Don't need the old rags. Admittedly, depending on your playstyle, you may want different gear, but I don't want any of that. I suppose if you're doing a depraved run, then the old rags might come.
Rest assured, your goods are safe and sound with me. Best of luck to you. If only something could be done to help her. If only something could be done to help her.
Yeah, I think it took me about a year and a half to beat the original.
Best of luck to you.
Sekiro I've nearly finished now, but I started Dark Souls 3 and then gave it a break. I started Dark Souls 2, got and finished that but didn't do the DLC. I started Sekiro, gave it a break, then came back to it and got much further in it, so...
I can forge weapons for you.
Covers white pink durability. Probably should buy a bow from this guy. Does he sell bows? I must admit,
No interest, eh?
balancing on this one, this
can
one's
tell
definitely a
you're
bit
not gonna last
easier.
long here.
The later games, they've definitely cranked up the difficulty too much, which has made it a bit more unfair. Crestful Warrior's going to be going mad pretty quickly.
You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Ugh. It's all the same. You're just another prisoner of the Nexus. We're welcome here, as long as we keep slashing up demons.
Yeah, I mean, all their games have a certain amount of charm to it and are a bit more jankier is the word. Can't remember, can I walk on the Nexus or do I fall for it? I do walk. I'm right in saying the Black Maiden actually disappears initially, doesn't she? Ah, yes, there's Boletaria. Who we rescued earlier. The Black Maiden doesn't actually appear till after we've beaten the first boss, does she?
At its peak, Boletaria was a grand kingdom. The king, his knights, and his subjects were modest and plain, but also steadfast and compassionate. In the distant southern kingdom, Boletaria was known as paradise on earth. But look at what has become of us now. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land.
Okie dokie, I have a lot of souls. Yeah, I don't think I can level... I don't think you can actually level up until after you've beaten the first boss. So, with that in mind... Oh, and she welcomed us with Mbasa. Let us rejoice with...
Oh, Mbasa.
Actually, did I need to chat to her with the miracle equipped?
Oh, Mbasa.
Right, let's go fight a boss. So I've got a couple of the merchants now. Bessie. You had the live inventory in this as well, which meant you did have to pay attention to what was going on around you. seem to remember this boss is weak against, so let's go down. And a backstab for good measure. Okay, that's handy. I'll just use that to fully restore my health. So actually, in this one, you only get full health when you're in human form, which does mean... And I'm actually gonna... It's boss time. As introductory bosses go, so as you see there, it's quite weak to fire. This is probably one of the best bosses in the Souls game. It's actually quite an interesting boss fight. It's a lot more interesting than what some of the others they do later on. It feels fairer, it feels more balanced for an opening boss. I mean, the opening boss in Dark Souls 3 was absolutely unforgiving. Lane one. I think I should be able to finish it off now. Managed crowds. Yeah, it's a really good boss battle. Bring more souls, Slayer of Demons. And there we go, we got the lead demon soul. Can't remember if that's, I think that's not a special soul. I think this is the one boss that isn't. But as opening bosses go in the franchise, this is a far better introduction than some of the later ones. Dark Souls 3 has an absolutely brutal boss that was just totally unforgiving. Just trying to think what the Dark Souls 2 opening boss is. I can't. Dark Souls 1, you can either basically do the. You can actually do 2 in Dark Souls 1, I think. You can do one of the 2 demons that later gets used as standard troops. But yes, this is where the game really opens up, as until this point we can't actually use the Travelling Stone. So what I'm going to do is repair my equipment and then upgrade myself via the Black Maiden. But that's a really good boss fight.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
No, I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls 2. I was explaining to the others. A couple of the others quite like Dark Souls 2, but I'm not a big fan of it. I found it a very mixed game, I have to admit. To me, I think it's the weakest in the franchise. Dark Souls 3 is better, but Dark Souls 3 is they just made it really hard.
Still alive? I am impressed. This is something that might interest you. The black-robed maiden of the Nexus looks after the flames. She's a morose type, with eyes occluded by wax. She can control souls like no other. Bring her the souls of men and demons, and she will embolden your flesh and blood with their power. But beware, do not devolve into a foul beast.
The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
So it's time to go chat to the monumental that I couldn't chat to earlier. Ah, this door here was locked, wasn't it? Thanks, Archivile82. Great to have you on stream as well. Yeah, I'm probably going to finish in the not too distant future myself. I don't think I'll play too much further. I might actually do a standard gameplay of this at some point, showing off a bit more of it. Yeah, I don't believe this door was open before. Well, great chatting to you guys. Great to see you. As always, if you enjoy our thing, please do subscribe to the channel, and please do hit that like button if you aren't already a subscriber. I imagine most of you guys are. Much appreciated. Glad you've all enjoyed this. Look, it must have been a while since I played Demon Souls. It's quite refreshing to play, especially after playing Sekiro. Sekiro, as I said, much more unforgiving, and Dark and Demon Souls 2 were much trickier than this one. So I've just actually gone past the monumental. I've just got to go around here and just grab anything of interest before. She was the one in the corner that I walked by that looked at me. So yeah, I should actually do a proper gameplay video so I can get a high quality video. This is a fantastic game. So there's the monumental.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. 1 to the king of a small yet diligent land. 1 to the king of the burrowers underground. 1 to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. 1 to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. 1 to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain. Now it is your turn. You must lull the Old One back to its slumber and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
No, let's not proceed and do the rest of the game. Yes.
Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon. The Old One, without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom. We neutralized the Old One and banned the soul arts. Then we spread the archstones, and in order to mend reality, monumentals we became. However, man's memory of history is o'ershort, and before long he repeated his mistakes. The monumentals perished, and the archstones were long forgotten. And the short-sighted King Alant once again aroused the Old One. The monumentals perished, and the short-sighted...
So yes, there we go. The monumentals perished, and there's only one left. She's the last one. All the others are beside her. It's kind of eerie just her being like the last one left. What's interesting is they mentioned that there are 6 locations, yet there are only 5. The Land of the Giants is where you meet the final boss, I believe, but I actually think it was supposed to be another location that got cut from the game. I think there are actually supposed to be 6 locations in this, and the 7th being the final one. one of the archstones is basically just broken as a result. Now, I'm actually alive again. So I suppose I should do the honoured thing. Actually, no, not before I do that. Let's go chat to the maiden.
Brave soul, who fears not death. Prithee, lull the old one back to its ancient slumber. What is it? Dost thou seek soul power?
Do I seek soul power?
So be it.
Yes, I do.
After all, thou requirest strength. Go forth, touch the demon inside me. Let these ownerless souls become thine own. As for me, I am only here to tend to the flames. I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here. I shall await thine return, slayer of demons. I am here for thee, and thee only.
Now, she has the honour of being the only character you can't actually bump up, at least while she's in the Nexus. But she can bump her off right at the end to cause an alternative ending, if you want to go down the bad route.
I can forge weapons for you, for a fair price.
So let's get the equipment repaired. Yeah. I said always get your... In this one you need to maintain your equipment at all costs. If it breaks, it's very expensive and difficult to repair.
Do come back alive. I need your business.
Thou seekest the soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
So it's strength, dexterity, let's do vitality, endurance. Bump up dexterity a second time. Physical defense. Yeah, let's bump up faith.
Art thou done? May thine strength help.
Okay, there's 500 souls, and then I'm going to... So yeah, there's the broken archstone. Basically, that's the... You'll notice one of the stones is actually missing. They mentioned 6, and yet... So I always got the feeling there should have been 7 worlds in this. So basically, the 7 world, the one with the old. I think the Land of the Giants is supposed. The one they break is supposed to be the one with the old one is. But I always got the distinct impression there was actually supposed to be more. So I'm going to take a leap of faith off here because I don't want to die and lose my world's tendency. So cowabunga. And that is the thing most Demon Souls veterans will be doing. I don't really want to have to do that, but I can't alter the world tendencies. Basically, the world tendencies affect how the world goes, and if you kill certain bosses, you revert the world tendency. It's a good idea to actually plunge it to true white, and then actually just before you fight the final boss and some of the bonus things, plunge it into darkness, then revert it back to white if you can do. But you must. There's only a limited time you can plunge each stage into the various stages, because once you defeat the bosses, basically the only way to plunge it into white is to beat bosses or defeat certain characters. Because those certain characters and bosses don't come back, they won't return. To plunge it dark, dying in human form is something you can pretty much always do, as you can always get the human item. In fact, certain enemies drop it. So it's possible to plunge your worlds all to darkness and not be able to revert them back if you've beaten all the bosses and key characters. So I won't go to... I've done that once, so I'll go to the Borrower's Kingdom to show a brief bit of a second location. Just to show another location. I'm not going to be stream this much more. Looking at this, I think I should probably do a proper video where I go through the opening section and stuff. At some point. Basically, the world tendency works by it changes certain events. Light worlds have weaker enemies, darker worlds have more enemies and stronger enemies. Susceptible to pierced attacks. Okay. Oh, this goes to shops.
Hello there, souls. Souls. I trade fine goods for souls.
Buy some hardstone.
Our little town. Well, it's a nice wee place. All those lizard-eyed townsfolk are busy tinkering with stone. And don't bother with old men like myself. Makes life rather easy for me. I can get away with anything. Thank you, Lord, for this golden opportunity.
Yes, you'll learn most of the characters in this are either mad or...
Have you heard about that sparkling lizard? He's not easy to catch, but he's got some fine stones, and I know where his nest is. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't give it away. Thank you, Lord, for this golden opportunity. It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Some of the NPCs in this are very unsavory characters, you will learn. Waiting for an opportunity to pass in that bit, however. I'm actually going to go the other way, because I believe you stop those rocks as you catch up with the guys from behind. And this is actually the way to the blacksmith. The blacksmith actually lives down here, but I can't activate him yet. Can I actually fall down? No, I can't. I have to press a lever in the other side of the town in order to turn that, and then I can chat to the other blacksmith and bring him to the Nexus. Some NPCs stay in the world map, some NPCs come into the Nexus if you've never played this before. Oh, there's an item down there by the looks of things, but that's not one I want to fall down to just yet. Can't be an item. It looks like it's a... That does not look like a healthy drop. Oh, it's a lizard, isn't it? How'd you get that one then? Yeah, I'm not gonna... So the lizards are rather annoying in this. They basically drop certain rare gems. You actually need to obtain those gems from them, but unfortunately, because of how they work, you only get so many chances per run, and their rarest gem, if you don't get, you won't be able to build weapons with it until the next run. So the lizards really are the most... Definitely, get as close as possible. I seem to go 3 in relatively quick succession, so... That's your gap. So 1, 2. There's my gap. Also, I'm quite surprised how much there are Demon Souls to Dark Souls and the other ones. The Dark Souls games are definitely quite tough. I know there's a few annoying bits like this with the dragons, where they're just so unwieldy, but the enemies overall in this definitely feel a lot weaker. I'm just going to go for a bit deeper just to show you a little bit more of this stage before I actually finish, because I'm not going to do a full playthrough of this. Not anytime soon anyway. I might actually do a gameplay just to show the start a bit more cleanly as well. Yeah, I'm guessing piercing and slashing do a lot more damage. Okay, welcome. That's fine, Dubs. Nice to see you just here for a little bit. If you enjoy it, please do hit that like button. It's very much appreciated. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be on too much longer. I will be finishing shortly. Nice, actually. I didn't think I'd get through the whole first section. So stuff like this you've got to be slightly careful of. I should definitely think piercing and slashing actually thrusting, so I'm not piercing or slashing. This goes obviously take a lot more pierce. I'm more susceptible to piercing magic. Shard of the Spider Zone, so what did that one have? I did armor set. Lots of sharp stones by the looks of it. That's where things get a bit more trickier. Yep. That was a mistake by me handling those wolves. Okay, it is coming up to midnight, so I'll actually finish that there. I think it was a good point to end it. It just shows you the dangers lurking when you are slightly unprepared. But thank you all for watching the stream, everyone. Very much appreciated. I've been your host for this randomised gaming stream, Random Gamer Riven. This has been Demon's Souls on the PlayStation 3. Of course, it has been recently remade on the PlayStation 5 if you want to look at a newer version, although the remake version was not done by From Software, and I'm not entirely sure Bluepoint quite understood every finer point. I will say this is a bit more fairer than the later Souls games. The later Souls games, Bloodborne, are much more difficult. This is much more easier. I think they've perhaps gone a bit OTT on some of the later games. But that's it from me. I'm going to sort of world tendency chart. Yes, it shows you Shrine, shows you where you're. So I'm actually, the Boletaria Panis is heading towards white at the minute. I think all the others are sort of neutral and character tendency as well, depending on your actions. But I will finish this there. So thank you all for watching. This has been Demon's Souls by From Software and Sony. Published by Sony, and as you well, it was published by Altus and Namco Bandai in Europe and North America, as Sony didn't release this in Europe and North America, which turned out to be a huge mistake on their part. Unfortunately, it's because of the others we actually got to experience this. Else Sony wouldn't have released this. It's a very good classic. So I've got the collector's edition, which comes with the nice. In Europe, you got nice. You got the wiki.strategy book based on the wiki, and you got a nice guide as well, and you got a nice art book. So that's it from me tonight. I will finish here. I'm not sure what I'm going to stream on Thursday. As always, I'll be taking tomorrow off. I need to actually get some gameplay videos done, and I also need to order a new hard drive so I can actually record more gameplay stuff. But thank you all for watching, everyone. I've been your host, Random Gamer Riven. As always, if you do like this video, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm going to finish it there. That's it from me. Thank you to everyone who's been on stream. Thank you to Dub. Thank you to Archibald82. Thank you to Blade of Mer. Thank you to X Gaming X765. Thank you to Brickboy as well, who was on first. Thank you to everyone who's been on stream. It's been great chatting about the Souls series. Very much appreciated. Glad to see all you like this stream. I'm finishing here and now, so thank you all and have a good night, good evening, good afternoon or good morning wherever you are in the world. I'll be back very soon. So I'll see you all Thursday, and I'm not sure what I'll be streaming, but streaming at the usual time of 21:30 GMT.